Hello and welcome to Football Thunders. The season may be over, including the internationals, everything, and players will coming back for pre-season if you're in the EFL. But we're still around, and we've got a pod for you tonight. Brought to you by Let Us Talk, the mental health charity, playing football, and of course, Ryan, your sponsor.
The Proper Blokes Club, walking and talking for men's mental health. Go to www.theproperblokesclub.co.uk.
See, like a pro.
Like a pro.
Like a pro. Right, listen. Tonight, I've got something a bit different. Dan, do you want to explain how we're going what's happening tonight? Because this is your idea, so
yes,
we're going to blame you.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Well, good evening for us. Basically, what we're going to do this week is we've all come up with 3 different things that we'd like to see from the upcoming football season, and then we've got 2 things for each other that we'd like to see for each other, which could get salty. So, well, I know one of mine's going to get salty. No. So, yeah, we'll click into that.
Okay. Who wants to go first with their first one? Dan, as it's your idea, right. Dan, you better start this because this is your idea. Your
shebang. The 3 I want are quite boring.
Well, no, just one at a time.
So Ryan, have you got a funny one to start with? You got one that says like Fred's a good player?
No, but it kind of could be, I suppose. It's someone who's been ridiculed for a long time.
Oh.
So, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Can we have a guess at who's been ridiculed for a long time?
Go on then.
If it's who I think it is, I'll make a comment about it later.
It's Harry Maguire or it's Fred?
No.
Or Gareth Southgate?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Duffy. Go on then.
Right. My first and probably the most sentimental wish for this coming season is that a certain Mr. Phil Jones actually finds himself a club at any level and is just able to play football for a year, because he's been at Man United for
56 years,
12 years now, and in that time he's had, from the research I've done, he's had 33 different injuries in 12 years. That's just devastating, and every time he gets fit again, he breaks down again. He gets a game, then he breaks down, and we've just had a 23-year-old goalkeeper have to retire because he might need hip surgery. So I would just like Phil Jones to actually go anywhere. Can't see it being at Man United, but just go anywhere and just have a season of football without injury and just play the game, because it's not fair to anyone to suffer the way he has. We take the mickey out of him because of the faces he's pulled.
I was going to say it'd be nice if your average sports photographer didn't focus on the facial expressions, please, for next season. Let's just see some photographs of him playing football, so no one takes the piss.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's the problem. He plays football, and that's the face he pulls.
Yeah, everyone's going to take the piss anyway, because they took the piss out of Darren Anderton for being a sick note. And if anything, Phil Jones is much, much worse than Darren Anderton ever was. But I would just like to see an end to it, and for him to actually just have 1 year of his career. Imagine having a dream and then being told, yeah, you can fulfill this dream by playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world, only for your body to say, yeah, no, you're not doing that for about 10 years.
The England cricket team have got a whole raft of fast bowlers like that, I've got to tell you.
Yeah, on my nerve.
It would be nice if he can get a season, a good couple of seasons. Sometimes people's bodies just aren't built to go through what something like playing professional football is. I mean, the amount
the sad thing for Phil Jones is the potential that was there when he signed for United. That's the real shame.
It's not been realised, has it?
Just hasn't been had
a
chance.
It's not his own fault either. It's not like he's blown it himself. It's just literally his body has just taken any ability to fulfil his dream away from him. Yeah,
and that's sad, and no one wants to see that. We've seen it with players. I mean, who like quite a few players out there, younger players that got injuries, and you just look and just wonder what could have happened, could have been. That's a good one to start with. Shall I do mine next?
Go on.
Yeah.
One of the top 6 Premier League sides to get relegated.
Careful, that's going to be Man United at this rate.
And the reason is I and I think this is a pet hate of mine. Is
Patrick Bamford.
He's a pet. That's not a pet hate. That's a morbid distrust and just wrong. There's just something not right about Patrick Bamford. But no, what I want to see is I want to see one of the top 6 sides get relegated, because they've got their fans, especially their fans, and a lot of Premier League fans. The attitude is, "Oh, we're too big to go down." Now you're not. You're not. And I think it would be a big wake-up call, and it would be as funny as fuck to see one of the top 6 actually drop out of the Premier League and spend the league in the Championship. I think that would be.
I know
hilarious.
who I want it to be as well.
Go on, who do you want it to be? I'd like to see Arsenal. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's Arsenal.
You can see Arsenal TV going into absolute meltdown, can't you? Right
Of
now.
all the fan bases, it deserves to be them.
Yeah. So that's please. So what we want next year is Arsenal to get relegated. That's what I'm saying.
And I'd say nothing against Arsenal, but it is everything to do.
Oh no, it's everything to do with their fans. They demanded the title or whatever, and not satisfied with Champions League football. When they built a new stadium, that costs a lot of money, and they can't expect to win the title or win trophies every year. But yeah, their weight of expectation, a good season in the Championship. And what I'd like to see is that lead to the financial ruination of the club and they end up in League One. That'd be funny as hell. It's happened to other big teams, so why not Arsenal? There we go, there's mine. I like that one. Dan, next.
Do you want a serious one, or do you want my piss take one?
Yeah, go on. Do your serious one.
Right, I want to see Connor Gallagher in the Chelsea starting 11.
Is that going to happen under?
I want it to.
Under Tommy.
I think he can play next to Kante. I think he can take the Kovacic role. He works hard enough. He's clearly showed that he can do it in the Premier League.
And he's English.
And he's played for Charlton.
Yeah.
And I think he's deserved. He showed at Palace. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He showed there that he's good enough, as much as it hurt to watch him play for Palace. He showed he's more than capable of playing. I think it's time for him to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And kick on. I think he's done more than enough to get that opportunity. Well, whether he will is a different question.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Loftus-Cheek, got in the England squad, got injured. He's on the peripheries, isn't he? Or he was on the peripheries.
But was Loftus-Cheek ever showed anything close to kind of what
No,
Gallagher has for the period?
No, I mean,
Loftus-Cheek had a good, was it 6 months?
Yeah.
Gallagher's had a good 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, he had Charlton, he was a revelation. Unfortunately, Chelsea pulled him from Charlton and gave him to Swansea. And then
great for West Brom, although they got relegated.
Yep, and so he's had 2 seasons in the Premier League.
Palace. Yeah, he's pulled Palace up.
Yeah, without him last year, I'd be interested to see without him what Palace would have done. But that's a good shout. I like that. Ryan, what do you think of that? Conor Gallagher.
I think he definitely deserves to be in the Chelsea first team picture. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be a starter because if you look, they've got Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic ahead of him, and Mason Mount.
So does he look for another loan move, or does he look for a move?
I mean, if I was him, I'd move. If I can't get football, I'd just go.
Where do you think he'd go?
Abroad. I'd love to see him in Italy.
Be good in Italy. Yeah.
I think he'd be amazing in Italy. Ryan, I know Ryan's the Italian man of the podcast. I think he'd look great in Italy.
I think he gets sent off a fair bit in Italy because he puts himself out a lot.
He might do, but he play good football.
He definitely deserves to be
good thing to learn, though, isn't it? How to play football,
discipline yourself,
self-discipline.
He definitely deserves to be at a top 10 club. A Tottenham, an Arsenal. Arsenal would be a really.
Well, no, Arsenal are getting relegated. Arsenal are getting relegated this season. We've already discussed this, so let's not send him there.
A midfield of him and Odegaard would be a really good thing for Arsenal.
Ooh, I like that. With Partey behind him, lovely.
Yeah, I could see someone like a Tottenham or an Arsenal. Maybe not Tottenham because I think Tottenham have just done some pretty decent business in Bissouma.
Yeah, Conte's been
He's been a busy boy.
But I wouldn't mind Conor Gallagher at Man United, just saying.
Yeah, I don't think Man United...
I'd be quite happy to see... I'd watch Conor Gallagher at Man United.
I think he'd be good at Man United. I think he needs to aim higher.
Bit of energy in that midfield that walks around like a bunch of zombies.
I just think he needs to aim higher than a middle ranking team.
I'm not going to argue. It's a fair point. I can't argue with it.
So that's Conor. Ryan, what's yours?
Right, second one, highly boring. I'm not sure if people will agree, but I actually want to see them disappear VAR. I don't think it's...
Yes, please.
I don't think it's used properly at all. I think it should be used as a tool for the referee to go to if he feels he needs it, not having someone in his ear saying, you've cocked that up, you've got that wrong, you need to look at this again. I don't think it's used properly, so if we're not going to use it properly, then we're just, in my opinion, we just need to bin it, because it's just replacing the referee on the pitch, basically, and second guessing everything the referee does. And again, it's another human on the other end, so we've got two people making bad decisions instead of just one.
But you, I mean, I do agree, and I think it needs to be refined rather than binned. But what I do dislike about it, and to say about another human at the other end, but the human at the other end is having different angles being played to him,
and they still get it wrong.
And they still do get it wrong, though. Unfortunately, the thing with VAR, and it's the same in cricket, the DRS system. A goal goes in, and then you're waiting. There's a celebration, and it says VAR check. It takes the spontaneity out of the celebrations.
Absolutely.
But in the cricket, it don't go on as long as in the football. In the cricket, it's
quick, and you see it.
And the other thing with the cricket is you see it, so you see what the umpire's seeing, and you hear the umpire.
You hear the decision being made.
In football, you get left for 5 minutes to stare at a board.
And
everyone knows watching the TV that it's clearly a goal, but they'll call it off.
And the thing that frustrates me about the cricket system, is if they'll look at the decision that the umpire has made, and they'll only overturn it if there is clear evidence that it needs overturning. Whereas VAR, I think it should, if they're going to use VAR, there needs to be clear evidence. I'm not having an offside because the hand's over the line. That's just ridiculous.
I think they should go back to the point of where it was clear daylight between an attacker and a defender, because this always shoulders off past the certain line.
A fingernail.
His big toe is further forwards than the other man's big toe.
I think it should be a clear body part that you're allowed to use.
You're allowed to use. So it'd be your foot, your head,
and a clear, not like his toe now.
Yeah, it needs to be. It
a
needs
whole
to be
foot.
a clear. It needs to be a
If you're offside because of his pinky, because of his hat, his arm,
bollocks.
because he's pointing where he wants the ball, what does it matter? He can't touch the ball there anyway.
If they're level and it's a tight margin, give it in favour of the attacker.
This is why I say just scrap VAR and go back to goal line technology only.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
and I don't mind. I wouldn't mind if they had VAR, just to say, if there was just a bloke in his ear who said, "Go have a look, see what you think," rather than "We think that's a pen."
Yeah. Or do teams, the team captain on the pitch, have a certain amount of VAR referrals like they do in cricket? You're allowed 3 referrals.
I disagree with that one, because that's going to slow the game down just like it does at the moment with the VAR. The spontaneity's gone from football because the goals are being checked and double checked and ruled out for a pinky over the line. So if you're going to give people challenges, then that's going to slow the game down as well. I want the game happening, decisions made, live with the decision, because at the end of the day, just to give a prime example, if a team feels aggrieved because they've gone 1-0 down, they're not going to go, right, we need to win this back quick, because they're going to be standing around for 5 minutes going, well, let's see if they give it first.
Yeah,
so just get rid of it, go back to goal line technology only, and put the responsibility back on the referees. And I also think if they're going to do that, then I think referees need to be held accountable. They're too protected.
Oh, they never do. That will never happen.
That's never going to happen. It hasn't really happened before. Hasn't happened before very much, and it's not going to start happening now.
Pretty sure refs could run around with no clothes on and still get away with it.
A ref could literally stick his thumb up on a player's arse and get away with it. That's how they're protected. So VAR.
Yeah, I will admit, again, it's another thing that bothers me about English football. The Germans, I think, do it correctly, where the VAR people in Germany will say, "Oh, we think there's a problem," but the referees have to go and look. It's not optional. If they say we think there's a problem, they don't give it. The ref still has the final decision to give it, but he will look himself. He has to go and see. Where here, it seems like they don't even look.
Yeah.
They just kind of the ear will say, "Oh yeah, look, that's offside."
And then,
The ref just blows his whistle.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So you two are in favour of abolishing VAR.
Absolutely.
Next one is me then, isn't it? Then.
Yeah.
I want this is because Dan and I have seen this close at hand, and I've seen the effects of it. I want every player who's booed by his own fans to have a Storm River season this season coming up.
Don't agree.
I'd like to see players who've been booed by their own fans, because there's a multitude of reasons why. I mean, I'm probably looking at it from a different angle than you two, because I've looked at it from the other side, from the footballing side, where you see a person struggling, or there's a player who's struggling with things not necessarily.
Yeah, but that's different. If I was to say to you, as a Charlton fan, you watched Marvin Sordell walk off the pitch at the Valley when we were 2-0 down, he had every right to be booed.
Yeah, but there are players. No, that there are. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying. Well, what I'm saying is players that get picked on by supporters now and again, and it happens at Charlton. They'll decide they'll just pick a player, and that player is never going to be good enough. Never ever going to be good enough.
9 times out of 10, they're right though.
And yeah, but I mean, I've seen it, and I'll give you the Simon Francis example. Absolutely,
it was awful.
He was awful at Charlton, and there was a reason.
Yeah, but he was awful.
He was genuinely awful, but I don't think he deserved some of the crap he took.
I will admit he got a lot, but being booed is what you said. I don't have a problem with a fan voicing their opinion. When their opinion, the way like we heard at Yeovil, that was wrong. The way that
that's what I'm talking about.
But that's not booing. That's just abuse.
All right. So players have been abused by their own fans. I've worded it wrong. Players have been abused over their own fan for no good reason. Have a Storm of a season. The thing, and I'll explain because Ryan probably doesn't know. Simon Francis was at Charlton. He just joined us. He'd been in the South End side that got relegated, so his confidence was low. He came to Charlton. He didn't play well, but there were times, and Yeovil was a prime example. Early in the game, the corner came. There was a corner against Charlton, and he was on the post right beside us, and someone behind us just shouted out, "Francis, you're fucking shit. Get off the pitch," and all that. And he looked round, and you could just see in his eyes that hurt.
True though, it was factual though.
I know, but it was down to his lack of confidence. And
no, it was. But
when he got his confidence, he's a Premier League captain at Bournemouth. I'm just saying, I want that.
I
want that player.
That I can't argue with, but your original statement.
Yes, well, I've reworded my statement, haven't I? I've reworded
because Marvin Sordell pissed me the fuck off.
I mean, now our players that have pissed the living daylights out of him. Alan McCormack, same team. Charlton had one of their worst performances ever. And next thing, he's putting all over Twitter the fact he's enjoying a marvellous dinner at the Ox Hotel with his wife. That didn't go down well, and he got all the pelters.
See, I don't have a problem with that. I don't care.
He got all the pelters he deserved. That he should.
It's like, do you remember when we lost? We lost to
Dagenham.
We lost to someone. No, it was not far back. We lost someone. Chris Solly their team had a night out, and everyone lost their shit. I was like, I don't care. They're not playing right now. They can do what they want.
Grealish is copping it now because he had a bit of a night out in Vegas. So what? He's on holiday. Let him.
Been on holiday all year, isn't he?
Here's my opinion, and here's where I think when it comes to social media, here's where footballers get it wrong.
Go on.
What football
being on
players
social
should
media?
Do, no. What football players should do is they should have two accounts. A personal account, which they restrict to their family and friends.
A lot of them do on Instagram.
And then a second professional account for them as players. So anything they want to put through, they do so as if it's anything to do with football, they do it through their professional account.
A lot do.
Well, then
in recent times,
then they need to be having the words with their fellow professionals and say, right, do it this way. Post all your photos of when you're out on the lash in your private one. I mean, not your footballer one.
There's a few players that I follow, former Charlton players, and their accounts are private. So and their accounts are private because they don't. Yeah, it's not. They'll let people see it, view it. They can trust. So yeah.
But just going back to
a
your
good
point,
thing
sorry.
is a good thing for footballers is stay off social media. Really,
I don't think they should have to. I just think they need to
I would.
direct it to the right place.
if I was a footballer, I would not be on social media.
I wouldn't either.
I knew Dan could probably tell you how much stick I got as a Charlton commentator. Just if Charlton lost, I would get stick for it on social media.
Well, look at the abuse
Good
Marcus
eye.
Rashford got.
So did Dan. You know, Dan got it as well.
Look at the abuse that Marcus Rashford got for working at a food bank. People were like, get back on the pitch and improve yourself instead of doing this and doing that. It's just, if you're going to go, as a football player, if you're going to do it if you're going to be on social media, don't be a football player on social media. Keep it private, keep it locked,
Sensible.
keep it to the people that you know. But going back to your original point, so I just want to clarify, you want Fred to play like Pirlo this season, yeah?
No,
Yeah, effectively, yeah, he does.
yeah, of course I do. Yeah. There is a proviso there. If your name's Bamford, the rules don't apply.
You was Harry Maguire to look like Alessandro Nesta.
Oh, if Harry Maguire could turn himself in the early part of the season, Alessandro Nesta or anyone like that, that's England's gain, and that's a good thing.
At the minute, he looks more like the Chuckle Brothers, but we'll go with it.
To you, to me. Oh, wait, no, sorry.
That's what he played with De Gea a few times. It went wrong.
Yeah. I'm not having De Gea as a top-class quality keeper either. But that's another story for another day.
But we'll all watch Dean Henderson at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. Or
Talking of that, to transition nicely,
Nicky Pope at Newcastle. Dan,
Dean Henderson
go on.
to have an absolute weldy with Nottingham Forest next season.
You know he's going to.
I know he's good, but I really want him to as well. I think he's been shafted by United.
No, to be honest, I think he hasn't been shafted. He was just very unfortunate because at the start of the season, he got COVID and he suffered from long COVID afterwards. So it took him ages to get fit again.
But he wasn't.
And by the time that had happened, there had been a manager change, and well, I say a manager change. There wasn't really any change apart from the actual person.
There was a change.
I would argue there was no manager in the first side in place.
But I think last season he was just very unfortunate, and David De Gea came in. And to be fair to David De Gea, for all his mistakes, and I openly call him Dodgy Dave.
Dodgy Dave.
He played really well, especially towards the end of the season. So,
well, he had a lot of saves to make, didn't he?
Exactly.
Creaking disaster of a defence in front
I've
of him.
I've said, and Ryan, we've said it before. I think if Dean Henderson plays regular football for a long term, he could be England's number one. And I think I said it at the time. I know me and Ryan had a disagreement when he came back from Sheffield United. I genuinely believe he should have gone when he left. When he came back from Sheffield United, he should have gone somewhere and just left United.
I agree, because he was not going to dislodge De Gea, was he?
He did.
We did for a little while.
But it wasn't going to happen for too. It wasn't.
But
going to
he
happen for too
looked shoddy when he did.
Did he? Nerves, I suspect.
He had, I think he was nervous.
He had a really good start to that season. He played really well for quite a long time, and then towards the end of the season, I think he was just burnt out because it was his first full season as a goalkeeper for Manchester United. He'd done exceptionally well at other clubs, but playing for a top team compared to playing for Sheffield United is a completely different level. And mentally, I think he openly admitted he was just exhausted by the end of it.
I mean, you're sort of grateful that he didn't play last season if behind that defence, really.
No, because
he'd have had a bad back picking the ball out of the net on the amount of times he'd have done that.
If you look at the year before, our defence was actually much better, and it was arguably the same defence. Yeah, there was only two differences. The difference was the goalkeeper,
which is why I said why he wouldn't have played that well in front of that defence this last season.
No, he would have done, because he was the key component that was missing, in my opinion. Yeah. He's far better at communicating and commanding his area than
So you think Maguire would be a better defender with?
Well, no, Maguire had a better year. No, I think he just shit bed last year.
Yeah,
but the year before it was the same player. It's just saying, but for whatever reason, something happened.
Something's happened
because all of Man United's back four.
No one was leading the defence last year. Nobody was leading the defence. Maguire is not a captain. I'm sorry, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. He's just not a captain. Henderson was the reason. The second year under Solskjaer, when we finished,
he a gobby keeper?
Yes,
Yes.
he commands
no,
his
that's fine.
area. He's constantly
don't-
talking. De Gea's completely opposite. He's a fantastic shot stopper.
Says
His
Sodom.
contribution's quite good, but he doesn't command his area. He doesn't organise his defence. He was expecting his defenders to organise themselves, and that's why we were so bad this season, in my opinion.
And I've got a thing with De Gea that I don't like, and that's his haircut. I mean, he needs to sort that out. I mean,
It's his
come
beard I don't like.
on. The beard is a mess.
He
but
looks like a hobo.
He just looks like he's had a go at a Tintin, and it's gone horribly wrong. And I just think someone needs to get hold of him and sort his hair out. I mean, shave it all off, do something. Just not that. You know?
Maybe Marcus Rashford can do it for him.
No, Matt Rashford's got enough to do.
He'll dye it blonde, don't worry.
Oh, Rashford?
He's got to feed the
Have you not
kids.
seen his head?
No.
Dear Lord.
He's dyed it back now, you're
blonde.
all right.
Oh, is he? Okay, hopefully.
Okay, right.
That's the end of the Paul Pogba influence.
Yes, it is a waste
No
of space.
Pogba, no Lingard.
No Pogba, no Lingard. Getting on with the game. All right, I think we've dealt with that. Who's next? It's you, Dan, isn't it?
It's back to Ryan again. No, that was it was me, wasn't it? It's back to Ryan again.
We're back to Ryan again. Your third one, Ryan.
This one, I had to weigh this up very carefully, but I went for this one over the other one.
He wants Charlton to win promotion.
This year, I would like to see more women involved in the men's game, because I've been watching women's football quite recently, and bar the physical differences between men and women, technically they're very good. They're coached very well. Tactically, they're very good. There's a lot of men involved in the women's game on a coaching level, on a refereeing level.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had an influx over the last 5 years of female commentators and pundits, which has been fantastic. I now want to see more female physios in the men's game, more female referees, lines, ladies, whatever you want to call them.
Coaches?
Yes, female coaches absolutely on the
Well,
bench. And I would love to see a female manager, a very first female manager at any level of the
Emma
football
Hayes.
pyramid.
For me, Emma
Well,
Hayes.
this is the question. So Emma Hayes was offered an interview at, was it Wimbledon last season? And she turned it down, saying she wouldn't take any job outside of the Premier League based on what she'd done at Chelsea.
Oh, that's a fair comment. She's
And
Oh,
I thought,
sorry, I respectfully disagree.
and I thought, surely, I mean, I understand her point. I don't necessarily agree with her, because surely you'd want to start a bit lower.
I understand her
Because of the
point, but
comparison between the top of the women's game and the top of the men's game.
yeah, maybe she's got to aim a bit lower and start off. If you the first woman manager is gonna, but you want the first woman manager to go to a club that's going to have half a chance, and I don't think, with all respect, that that's going to be Wimbledon. Because
respect-
Oh no, she'd have been fucked. They're shit.
they're a League One side at the very best, and at the moment they're League Two, and there's a reason they're League Two.
With all due respect to her, I admire her confidence in her own ability, but I think she's been a little bit arrogant there to think that she can
English
get, like,
men
the
can't get
Chelsea
jobs
men's
in the Premier League.
The thing is, the reason she's been arrogant is because she's getting paid good money to be the Chelsea boss. And why would she give
Yeah,
up
but the
being
money's
paid?
not the same.
No, it's not the
Yeah,
same.
that's the thing.
But she'd still probably get more managing Chelsea than she would going down to Wimbledon.
Probably, that's true. But I just think she's.
Possibly, I don't know.
Oh,
I
trust
don't
me.
think you can compare the women's game. Yeah, Wimbledon aren't going to pay her nothing.
They're not going to pay her a lot at all. Trust me.
The women's Premier League and the men's Premier League, you can't compare. They're in no way similar.
No.
So I think why not start? I know it's not perfect, but why not start in League One?
Tactically, I think she can read the game
I
well.
should be fine. Yeah,
She's
she'd be fine.
tactically, she's fine. It's how
She's a
manages.
very, very good commentator as well. I don't know if you've heard much of her.
But it's how men would react to. That would be the interesting thing. How men would react to a
Piss
female
off.
coach. I mean,
Well,
But I agree. I mean, there should be more physios. There should be more. There should be even fitness coaches, sports science.
There are to be fair,
There are
we have
more
seen an
coming
influx.
through. Yeah, there are some coming through. We've had a few referees, haven't we? And I think we've got one.
Yeah, Sean Massey's really good.
There's
Yeah,
one
Sean
going to the
Massey.
World Cup, I believe, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, she's German.
So
I definitely think we should
So
have
it's
more female referees, because I think it would solve a lot of the behaviours of players, male players on the football pitch. I think
do you think the players show more respect to a female
I
referee
think they
than a
would
male?
be a lot more reluctant to surround a female referee than
Okay.
they would a male.
I've seen it. I've seen it in League One, because there's a League One, there's a female wrestling League One. They still do it.
Yes, but they, to be fair, in that respect, they haven't got like half the globe watching them on Premier League TV.
They've got they've got a lot of the globe watching them on various TV stations around the world.
Yes, but the platforms are not comparable.
I still think footballers
would
do it.
I
still think
footballers, regardless of who, if they think they can get away with it, they'll have a go. The referees will be sorely tested at first. Every new referee gets pushed. See how far we can, and then the word gets round. Look, yeah, don't fuck about with this one. You don't take any prisoners.
Let me just put it this way.
Of the beast. But
let me put it this way to you. Can you imagine the reaction on social media if 12 football players surrounded one female referee? There would be uproar.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like, a bunch of like people like us just rambling on.
But I think it's never normally
mainstream media would pick it up and
there would be some cockwombles in the press.
There'd be some stuff, and there'd be a lot of people saying that's terrible, and then there'd be people like Piers Morgan saying, "What's a fucking woman doing on a football pitch in the first place?" That's what you get. There will be two sides to it. Let me tell you, I'm all for women in football. I've got no problem with women commentators as long as they're good enough. This is the thing.
Oh, have you heard Karen Carney?
No, but I worked with a female commentator who was genuinely awful, and was a major part of the reason why I've got to be careful. No, I can't say, but I can't say. I'll tell you off. But something happened because of
tell
her.
You off.
There was a big. I can say because I'm not employed by any of them and I don't work for them. There was a commentator commentating on a Charlton game. She was that bad. Charlton took the commentary in-house on the back of her performance.
And they employed you, so what does that really say?
I think if you ever listened to me commentating, I don't think you did, so I don't think you could pass comment, really.
I have heard your commentary, actually.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
I've been sent several clips.
That's clips.
That's the bad bits.
Those. Right. So the one clip you're talking about was about the third game into our commentary.
Oh no, I've been sent a few.
No, there's a few. I find them all. Don't worry.
Do you?
I've heard you. You've been complimented and ridiculed in equal measure. To be fair.
But the thing is, I commentated on the game, and as best as I was seeing the game in front of me. What I didn't do was veer off discussing the fact that the Wigan midfielder was dating someone from Girls Aloud and turned up in a Rolls Royce before the game when there's football occurring, and I'm trying to bring the commentator back to the game of football, which is something I used to have to do on a regular basis.
Alex Scott's good on taking it back to
Alex Scott's good on Football Focus. She does Football Focus now as well, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Kim Carney, I've not seen. What's she like?
No, Karen Carney.
Karen Carney.
She is like, she just has no emotion. She's just like, she's
like Michael Owen.
Yeah, like her and Michael Owen would probably bore people to death.
Yeah.
What is her name? Siobhan something. I can't remember her surname. She's a goalkeeper. I think she played for Man United and Chelsea. She's really, really good. I'm trying to remember her name.
I think Emma Hayes at the Euros. Was it at the Euros she was at?
Yeah, she was so good.
She was so good as a co-commentator. And the other one, it was a bloke, Ali McCoist, I always find really good because he reads the game well. And when you look at Ali McCoist, he's always full of stories about this, that, Gaza and this, Gaza that. But he knows his football.
Leanne Sanderson's another one on Sky Sport. She's not long retired.
She's very good.
Excellent.
She's really,
so
really good.
I think when we're all in agreement, we want more women in football. We need more women in football.
In men's football, yes.
In men's football, and her game too are doing some marvellous work at the moment.
But they're working at speed.
And they're working at speed.
They're
picking up more and more clubs. Thankfully, our club Charlton have joined in. Well done to Tash for doing that.
They've also
there's also her game for cricket.
Yeah,
her game for cricket.
Yeah.
But then cricket has never been as bad as football. I don't think in terms of off the field.
But I think it's arguably been worse on it.
On the pitch, yes, but off the field, there's always been lots of women at cricket matches. Always, as long as I can remember.
But that's because Daddy's got a paw.
No. You see,
it's the booze and the strawberries. That's what it is.
I've never. That's Wimbledon you're thinking of. I've never seen.
I was at Lord's the other week.
Were there
He's
strawberries?
Right. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I bet you
It's a
don't.
summer sport.
When I
out
get-
comes
when
the
I-
pins o'clock.
Now listen, I'm in a horse on hospitality suite at Headingley at the weekend for the test
You're in a
match.
horse, yeah.
Nice.
I'm in a horse
The horse
brutality.
brutality.
Horse brutality.
He's in a horse. Just for the
Do
listeners.
you reckon I'll let you know?
Pete likes
I'll let
horses.
you know if we get strawberries served up.
No, they don't have fruit in Leeds.
I'll let you know if we get strawberries served up.
You might get some dust. It's Leeds.
It'll be Yorkshire pudding, won't it?
Yorkshire.
Proper breakfast.
You have a pasty.
See if they've got. I'm
You
not sure
don't
they have
have strawberries. You have a pasty.
I think it's me next with my third, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Crystal Palace to implode on and off the pitch. I want the manager implicated in a huge betting scandal. The owner facing arrest for serious fraud, and the ultras shat on by a flock of virus-infected pigeons. How's that sound?
I'm not sure I can agree with that one, but yeah.
I do.
I
Wholeheartedly.
knew I'd get a majority on this one.
Ironically, my last one is I want to see Gillingham's impending relegation to non-league football. So let's just get rid of them all.
I like the ultras being shat on by a virus-infected pigeon.
I would have some care for them if they didn't go to Primark to buy those fucking hoodies.
I would have no care for them. They're Palace fans.
Weapons.
Sorry, are you saying that pigeons shop in Primarks for hoodies?
No, the ultras do. Palace's ultras.
On Primark hoodies.
Palace's ultras
They've got
shop.
pigeons that have more class than Palace fans. Come on.
Yeah. Pigeons hang around Woolwich. I'll rest my
The Woolwich
case.
Pigeon does have a Twitter account.
He does, the Woolwich Pigeon. You should follow Woolwich Pigeon on Twitter, Ryan. It's very good. John the Pigeon's quite good as well.
Yeah, John's a bit of a wild pigeon.
John is a wild feral pigeon. John the Pigeon is worth following. Yeah. I think the greatest Twitter handle ever, but he's not around anymore. Not Big Sam was brilliant.
At Dan Finchy 3. Fun.
No, not Big Sam was the one.
No, that's wrong. The best Twitter account of all time is Evil Kagawa.
Oh, Evil Kagawa. Yeah, that was actually very good as well.
Evil Kagawa was my favourite Twitter account.
Yeah, it was extremely
Do you know
good.
he's still playing football? On a random note,
Is he? Where is he
Who's
playing?
Shinji?
now?
Finchy Kagawa. Yeah,
Where's
he's
he
a
playing?
Centre-DM. But yeah, so
Brilliant.
my third and final really is just to see Gillingham get relegated again, so I can laugh at some more Gillingham fans.
Yes, I mean their first.
As we
game-
discussed on a previous podcast, when they were relegated from League One, there was much enjoyment on the group chat from two of the team.
Yes, picking on well, there's one particular Gillingham fan that we quite enjoy ourselves.
Oh
at,
no, all of them.
but all of them are worth a go. Yeah, and I haven't seen our local MP. I interviewed our MP, and I haven't interviewed him since they were relegated. But having said that, he might not want to do an interview with me again after the last one. So yeah, shall we move on? Now this is here we go. This is where
Should we do this person by person?
right. Okay.
So we start with you, and me and Ryan explain our two of you. No, should we do you last because I have a feeling you're going to get sorry.
Oh right. Okay. Okay.
So should
do-
we start? Should we start with Ryan?
Yes. Right. For Ryan,
I've
I
got
like-
a boring one for Ryan.
so have I. I'd like to give him a Man United side that shows some bollocks, unlike last season's shower was shite. But that's literally it.
I think you take that.
I'd like him to have a team that shows a pair of balls rather than the shower was shite that they saw last year for whatever reason.
Well, to be honest, thank you very much, but I think a lot of the vaginas have left, to be honest, because they're completely ballless.
Have they?
So,
We'll see. We'll
thank
see.
you, Pogba.
The main one's gone. He's signed for Juventus today.
Yeah, thank you, Pogba. Thank you, Lingard.
Lingard.
Thank you, Matic. Tata.
Carney.
Hope we don't see you again. And Ralph, Wreck-It Ralph. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
And ole.
No,
Merry Christmas.
No,
Don't leave Ollie alone.
I can't leave him alone. He's shit.
And then right, my one for
he
Ryan
never should have been there in the
is-
first place. So leave him
I
alone.
said that in the first place.
That is true.
Right, well, then leave
my
him
one
alone.
for Ryan is quite simply, I would like Scott McTominay to repay Ryan's faith because I think he's a donkey, but Ryan still tries to convince me otherwise. So I'm hoping that this year he proves me wrong and becomes a professional footballer.
He can't get in my Villa side on FM.
He wouldn't get in. No, I'm not going there.
I'm selling him. I'm selling him because he's ineffective.
I believe there's a player in there. I haven't seen it yet.
Is he the Tom Cleverley of this era?
No, he's better than Tom Cleverley.
All right, okay.
Don't start.
If you want to see what Scott McTominay is all about, go and watch last year's Man United opening game versus Leeds.
It's against Patrick Bamford. You can hardly judge anything by that, can you?
Or go watch the rest of the season with the Benny Hill music over the top.
Yes, because one game does not a season make.
The year before, he was much better. I'll give him that.
But he's been pants.
But overall, I'm not convinced he's a player. But
he's not a Man U
Ryan
player.
is, so he needs to repay Ryan his pay.
He's not a Man U
player. You try carrying Paul Pogba on your back every match. And
he's
see
not
how
a Man U player.
Well, to be fair, you say that, but everybody said that about Darren Fletcher, and then look how he turned out.
Eric Jemba. That's a true
no, I don't think you can compare. I don't think you can compare McTominay with Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher was a very good player.
That will be the comparison.
McTominay's bang average. He's not a Man U player.
No, that will be the comparison. I agree.
That will be the comparison. When Scott McTominay leaves or hangs up his boots, that will be the comparison.
Are you going to judge it by how many medals he's got, or how many games?
You
can't.
Because
you can't. But that argument gets on my pissing nerves.
I know. I mean, I just... Yeah,
Jimmy Traore has a Champions League medal.
He does. It's true. And so
that's all you need to say.
So did David May.
Yeah, don't
David May shit. He's a bit before my time.
He came from Blackburn, and he's the one who probably celebrated the European Cup win in 1999 more than most. Didn't even get off the bench.
No, but then again, Jonathan Greening was on the bench, and he's got a Champions League winners medal.
But Jonathan Greening went on to West Brom and a few other clubs and had a career.
Yeah, but he didn't even play in the Champions League, and he got a medal.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Anyway,
maybe Jonathan Greening should have been shit ass for that.
Right, so that's Ryan dealt with. Right, Ryan, do you want to give something to Dan?
I wish for Dan this year to meet Ademola Lookman just so that he can shit himself, become completely speechless, and make a complete dick out of himself. There you go.
I've met Ademola Lookman. He's a human being.
To be fair to Dan, when he has met players or footballers that he really admires or really likes, he's quite capable of having a conversation with them. Oh, but I have to say, I would think if he met Ademola Lookman...
I've met Addy.
Dan would be fine. If you met Kim Grant, he'd have a word or two, wouldn't you, Dan?
Carlin, yeah, I went to school with him as well, but we'll leave that there.
Yeah. But Ademola Lookman, yeah, he's a good player. I like
Dan loves him.
I just want him to do well.
Yeah, he's one of those players you want to see do well.
Him and Joe Gomez, just...
Oh, Gomez is my...
Let's go, lads.
Yeah, Joe Gomez is my...
Joe Conads.
Joe Gomez is my man. I think
Joe
You've got to think about penises today.
Joe Gomez, I'm not well. I'm clearly not feeling very well.
First he wants to be in a horse, and now he's talking about
I didn't hear that wrong. He did, didn't he?
Joe Gomez is my. I mean, I've watched Joe Gomez since he was young, and he's just always been, and I've always thought he was top notch.
Well, in Joe Gonads.
So Joe Gonads for England, yes, right, okay, right.
Your turn.
Dan.
That's you berg.
What? No, I've got to give you something, haven't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Optimism.
Fuck. None of that.
See? There you go. I'd like you to be optimistic for the season.
About what team?
About anything.
I am optimistic about Ademola Lookman.
That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't play for Charlton.
No, I'm optimistic that Connor Gallagher is going to play for Chelsea.
We don't see it so much now because circumstances have changed. But the tweet whenever Charlton went 1-0 down was, "Oh fuck, here we go again," or something along those lines.
Right, but how often was I right? And it was. Here we go again.
You've been doing it for 10 years.
We've been shit for 10 years.
Not totally.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we got promoted in there somewhere. I would like you to have a season
once in 15 years.
Where we go 1-0 down, and for once you go, I think we'll come back from this.
I said it at Wembley, thank you. Take that.
I wasn't anywhere near you. I was too busy.
I told Josh we're still winning. Up yours.
Optimism for Dan in the next season. That's what I'm after. Right, I'm a bit worried about this It's me now, isn't it?
Well, I'll go
Right.
first because
Oh,
I think
what?
I think there's a chance we've both set you up for a rant. So I'll go first. Get mine over and done.
Oh, no.
This year,
Yeah,
just for you,
yeah,
I'd really like comeback player of the season
no.
to be Patrick
No, you
Bamford,
can fuck off.
and for Patrick Bamford to be the leading English goal scorer in the Premier League.
Two things.
Just for you.
It's not going to fucking happen. That's one. On the basis that he's shit. Right, and he's just shit. He was born shit, and he'll quit football. Shit, he's shit. He's got an England cap by default. I don't know how
Ryan,
he
it
managed
worked.
that.
Ryan,
Fucking no. Right, move on
Ryan.
next.
Just for Pete, this year, when the inevitable
Pair of
managerial
bastards.
change at Charlton happened,
Oh yeah. Go on.
I want to see Return to the Valley, Ian Dowie with Danny Mills as his assistant manager.
With who? I don't give a shit who his assistant manager. If that slap-headed bald Ponce comes anywhere near my fucking club, I will personally go down there and rip his testicles off and chuck him into the Thames. I have got nothing but contempt for him and that twat Pardew as well. But Dowie couldn't even look me in the eye at the City Ground a few years ago. I was at the City Ground in the press box. He walked in, he saw us all in our Charlton gear and walked out again. Fucking coward. No. Ian Dowie should no. Apparently he's got a degree in rocket science. Yeah, well, a rocket needs to be inserted up his ring piece and fired into space. Get rid of that twat. Fucking Ian Dowie. He took the Charlton team out, right? Premier League football team for a walk in Newcastle. An hour and a half later, he's phoning the hotel up because they're fucking lost. Bastards.
But you don't care who his assistant manager is.
Who was his assistant manager?
Danny Mills.
He can fuck off and all. Oh, Dan, my son Dan was right when he was 6-7 years old when he stood up and shouted Danny Mills is a wanker. Spot on. Spot on. Got himself sent off deliberately so he could have Christmas at home, wanker. Tosspot.
I think we lost Dan.
Are we done?
I think Dan is. While we are chatting, though, what do people make of this very protracted rumour going around that Gareth Bale is going to sign for Cardiff? He's gone.
Sorry, did you not hear what he said? Did you not hear him?
Yeah. Oh, he'll have to wait till he listens back to it when he's editing it.
No, I didn't hear what he was saying.
Oh,
All I was Cardiff.
You'll hear. Listen back, you'll love it. This has got an X rating, this one, by the way. Over 18s only. Anyway, where were we? Gareth Bale to Cardiff. Please, do me a favour. If he's going back there, I don't know why he's going.
He's going there to play 6 months of football so that he can get some money,
go to the World Cup and retire.
And that's where his family is as well.
And very handily, there's a really nice Ryder Cup class golf course nearby in Newport.
He might
lovely. I've been there.
Yeah, Dan's been there. Yeah.
Very nice.
Mind you, can you see Gareth Bale on a night out in Newport, Dan?
Don't want to see anyone on a night out in Newport, frankly.
Will he have trips with curry sauces? Question.
Place shit off. Surrounding area's lovely, just don't go to the city itself.
Yeah, don't go to. Yeah. Don't.
Do yourself a favour, don't go to the city.
I went there on a coach once. It was a mistake.
Surrounding areas are lovely.
Yeah, beautiful. I'd question his. I think if he goes to Cardiff, all he's looking to do is get through to the World Cup. That's all it's about, really.
Oh, that is all he's doing. He's basically admitted that.
And then once he gets to the World Cup, I would expect him to retire at the World Cup. If I'm honest with you. If I'm perfectly honest with you, I think he'll play.
This backroom staff.
He'll play his.
Dowies.
He's a cunt. He'll play his 3 games and then he'll retire. I think.
I reckon the first team coach.
Move
right,
on.
so we'll have Ian Dowie as manager, Danny Mills as assistant,
sporting director Alan Pardew at this fucking rate.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
No. No, I'm
And
never.
the first team coach.
No.
And Roland Duchesne as honorary president.
Matt Southall.
Marvin Sordell as club ambassador.
I don't have a problem with Hordell. Dan
No, I
does.
fucking do.
Dan does. But Duchatelet and Southwark can go fornicate with a frog as far as I'm concerned, the pair of them.
Roger Johnson as first team coach.
Oh, no, don't get me started on Roger Johnson. In fact, I'm not allowed to get started on Roger Johnson.
Better than Adam Johnson, I suppose.
It's a fair point. Fair point. On that note, I think we'll be back again some sunny day. God, it's gone again. Let me call this one the one where Dan has a laugh.
Oh, it's all shits and giggles this week.
Mate, he went quiet and all you heard was, at least he's not Adam Johnson. Fair. Very fair.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we're done for this week, don't you?
Until
I
next
think we'll be
week.
done forever after that, to be honest.
Ryan, thank you very much. I'm not sure what for, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Dan, thank you very much. I'm certainly not sure what for with you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you all, and shits and giggles.